business. But of course, before we get into any further discussion, still to remind you, Smart24 TV on our Twitter handles at Smart24 TV. That's on Twitter, at Smart24 TV Live. That's on YouTube. You can stream us at any part of the country we'll be at. And Smart24 TV Official, that's on Facebook. We can still be in touch as we post open discussions, economic related, and you give your opinions regarding those matters. Now, for those that are obsessed with gadgets, we have something for you. The Google Play, go to your Google Play Store and download the Smart Digital application, and here you'll be able to stream Smart24 TV, NBS Radio, and Smart FM at the same times. And those of you with decoders, GOTV channel 320, DSTV channel 372, and our official website smart24.tv. You can get the latest business information. You're a student of business in a business-related university. You're looking for research to upgrade your final year project. Well, smart24.tv is the absolute website for you with updated facts in relating to that. Now, this morning, as usual, I'm joined with Hanifa. He's a reporter for Smart24 TV on Parliament, in Parliament, and he's here. She's always out there on ground, seeing how things are happening, and she definitely comes here to share with us what is happening and what do we anticipate, what is the way forward with the ongoing situation. Interesting about how the Parliament is investigating the amount of money that Uganda was given to organize the NAM.
Yeah, Parliament right now is looking at the budget framework paper of all government entities and ministries and organizations. As long as government spends money on an entity, it is being looked at. The budget process has already begun.
Has already begun.
Yeah, because it starts with the budget framework paper. And yesterday during the budget, the budget committee interaction with the committee on foreign affairs.
Foreign affairs, yes.
Right now we're having big summits, big conferences. And we are looking at, we are having NAM, we're having G77.
We had the CISPOC.
We had the CISPOC.
Yeah.
And foreign affairs, of course, it is supposed to be on the ground. It is the ministry that, it is the immediate ministry that is supposed
in charge of coordinating those events.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they present their BFP, they present their budget, and they need 4 billion for post NAM.
4 billion post NAM.
Yes, for post NAM, and then. Of course, that is okay. Of course, if you are you have taken the chairmanship of the NAM for the next 3 years. I'm told it is 3 years.
Yeah, it's 3 years.
Yeah, you need to organize yourselves. You've taken the mantle. You need to you're the one in charge of organizing all these events. Everything that does with NAM. Here and abroad, missions abroad and whatever.
You're the one in charge.
Yes. And you're asked to break down. You've asked for 4 billion shillings, and you've asked to break down this money. What is this money going to do post-NAM? And you cannot give details. And the committee is like, okay, you tell us, because when these this is a big thing. 120 countries all bring in money to support the hosting nation. How much money has Uganda received to prepare? Because you need to, organizing for 120 countries is not a joke.
It's not.
It is not.
The delegates coming with thousands and thousands of delegates.
They must have given you an amount of money for you to do so, and of course, it is their mandate to give you so.
Okay.
And you can't even tell the figure that you.
So what reason is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs giving as to why they are keeping the figures confidential?
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has not appeared yet, but it has not appeared yet in the budget committee. But it is the committee that is in charge of the ministry, supposed to give explanation on behalf. Or why does Ministry of Foreign Affairs need this money for post-NAM organizations and whatever? Why does it need this money? And then you're telling me, okay, the chairperson, of course, he told the committee, I was there, he told the committee, to be honest,
Yes.
Foreign Affairs has not yet been. It has been skeptical with the information. They have not given us the information. They are telling us some of these events are in. You can't give. You can't
quantify.
Exactly. You can't quantify the
the amount of money.
The amount of money. It is intangible. Something like that. Like what? Like why does it need this money? Okay, you tell us a figure that was given to
Give us
Uganda.
a rough estimation.
Exactly, a rough estimation. Give us something for us to accept this budget you presented to us. And then you're like, you, the committee that is in charge of the ministry has denied you information. And the members were like, okay, we have the committee has powers of the High Court.
Yes.
You the chairperson, you task your committee because they are bringing to you this budget. You don't just approve the budget without them giving you information. You're the chairperson in charge. Task them. Just like the trade committee, the trade chairperson, Honorable Mwine Mpaka, he told the trade ministry, you go back and because we recommended that the PS.
Yes.
Geraldine Sally should be relieved of her duty, and you refused. We recommended, and you refused. You insisted on bringing her back.
Okay.
We are not going to approve this budget until you put what we decided on. Yes. So you, the chairperson of the Foreign Affairs, you cannot ask your ministry to give you the amount that was given to the country. You're the one. You're the ministry in charge of this whole thing.
Okay.
You're the one entitled to give information whatsoever, and you cannot give information. How absurd is that? And how do you expect us to do what? To accept whatever you brought to us. So they told the committee, please go back. You sit with your ministry.
Yes.
Sit down with, because even the whole budget, you could not even explain it. You could not explain what the money you're asking for is going to do.
That is after the conferences. Exactly.
And the things that you've prioritized, you've left out very important things that should be prioritized. And then you're giving priority to things that you can't even explain. What is that? So that was a tricky session for the committee on foreign affairs. So they have to go back, sit down with foreign affairs, and then agree, because it is the committee that's supposed to speak on their behalf. So why do you not give them information? To give the committee. So they have to reappear again in the budget committee with information that is relevant for them, for their budget to be accepted.
So there has to be a streamlined sort of a proposal showing exactly what this money is going to do.
Exactly. They want breakdown.
Accountability.
Exactly, accountability. If you're asking for 4 billion shillings, tell us this money. Now the post-NAM organizations, since it is Uganda taking the chairmanship, this and this activity is supposed to be done. We are going to do this activity. Those things are there. We need this money to pay. So and so is going to deliver this. We need the money to do this and this. That is what the committee wanted.
Can we say that the venue is already cleared, or maybe it's part of the money that is going to clear the venue?
For this one, because they said it was Ministry of Foreign Affairs, apparently. Before, it is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that was supposed to be in charge of the NAM organization, but was taken up by the Office of the President. Of course, to organize everything and the money. And then they're like, of course, if the Office of the Presidency, the President is the one organizing this, you must coordinate.
Exactly.
How much was spent on this? How much was spent on accommodation? We need to know all this this money, because we need to account for it.
The delegates are being accommodated in very expensive hotels.
Exactly. Which is okay, which is very okay, as long as you give accountability. As long as you give accountability for this money. We know people have expensive hotels and
the rates are high.
Yes.
Some paying dollars.
Yes, we need to know this delegation slept in this. You may not even give the delegation.
Okay, we may not want to know what delegation slept in what hotel,
exactly. But they need accountability so that taxpayers' money is not just wasted.
Exactly.
That is money from taxpayers. Exactly. So that is the work of the parliament. Parliament is supposed to give. You're supposed to give accountability. Yes, that is what you're supposed to do. Because if you're saying it is the office of the president took it over, yes, which is very okay. But we need accountability for this money. How much was given? Why are you not revealing the number?
Why not revealing the number?
Is it that is where the problem comes in, and that is the corruption that the country needs to deal with.
And you see, it reminds me back of the CISPOC. Part of the discussions were in line with ensuring that parliaments of those different nations operate to their expectations to start that. And now, I would urge Parliament to take this to be as the first step where we see it taking its responsibility as Parliament and demand for this accountability.
That is why.
Otherwise, then why are we hosting these conferences if the resolutions we ourselves don't go by them?
Because if we want to deal with corruption, we should start with those conferences.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because a lot of money is...
Exactly. Money. There's a lot of money, and there's so many ministries and organizations that have come up to be part of the NAM. So there's money. Everyone wants to see a certain ZD and you're innocent. Everyone is looking out to Funidawa. Everyone looks at Funidawa. But if we want to deal with corruption in this country, we need to give accountability for. We need to start with that. We have countries. They give accountability for whatever money. We have in UK in those organized countries, they give accountability even for one shilling.
Okay.
Even this 1 shilling that you give accountability. Yes, this one was the remaining.
Bought a matchbox.
Exactly. Write it there so that everyone has trust in the system. Everyone has trust in the system. But if everyone wants to get in, people want to get in just to grab something. That also not give confidence for Ugandans to trust the system. Okay. People need to trust, because if you appear before the budget committee and you want this amount of money, account for it. Give accountability, and you giving the money that was given to these things are still going on. These conferences. It doesn't matter how much money you used. It is okay. Give accountability for it. If you gave tea girls whatever money, account for it. That is what the country needs. That Ugandans need that. We Ugandans we the taxpayers need all that information, so that we say yes, okay, whatever. But they gave accountability. But if you're shy with the information, you're not giving information. The committee asks you for information, and you say that the ministry refused. How? You're the committee in charge. Who ordered in the ministry? Exactly, the ministry. the ministry comes to you to ask for this money. You put them to task. Be like other committees, like, we are not going to approve this budget. We're not going to approve this budget. Unless we have this. Unless we have this information. Go and look for it. It is your ministry in charge. How can you say it's like you're not in charge? You as the chairperson of the committee, like, if you can't task your ministers to tell you the amount of money that is that has been given for this event, it is your ministry in charge. So is it proceeding even today? The budget committee. I don't know if in regards to the foreign affairs issue. No, I don't know when they are appearing again. Okay. I need to find out that information. Yeah. But of course they will have to come back. Of course they have to approve their budget, because we're in the budget process. There's no escape. They have to come back and give information, because you need your budget to be approved. Yes. All right, now it's exactly 15 minutes past 9. Now, to beef up this discussion, we have Opulot Fred. He's the chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee. Let's see what he has to say regarding this matter.
You need to tell the people of Uganda and the members of parliament what is the monetary value we get from the UN and related agencies. in terms of contribution and grants we get from climatic activity and so forth, because we really get money. So unless you quantify that, then we will know that delaying to pay this money will deny us the opportunity. A lot of activity and funding we get and privileges. So you need to outline that so that the whole House will support you. Let me help you and add you more. International Conference on Great Lakes region. Here I have a personal interest because I represent Parliament in this organization. Without this conference, we'll be having serious war with Rwanda and Burundi and DRC. MPs from Rwanda and Burundi, for 5 years ago, they were not talking. But because of engagement in this conference, these MPs were able to talk and visit each other and then trade. It even first stated opening border with the Uganda and Rwanda. So you need to have this information to, right now, Burundi border is open. A team from this ICGRL are already on their way to ensure the border is open. Yesterday, a member of parliament from the north was talking about how the maize from Lira goes to DRC via Rwanda because the border is closed. It is this ICGLR which engages both governments to ensure that there is no more trade. So kindly quantify, make an illegal beautiful, my brother. I am aware of some delegates coming to NAM who had to pay participation fee. You have collected a lot of money, you are not declaring. How much have you collected for participation in NAM, participation in G77? You are only lamenting, but tell us what you have in the kitty. Thank you very much.
Have we really interacted with them? Did we interact with them? Given that these summits have we've been aware of them for quite a good number of years. It is true, and really I'll be honest here. We did try severally to interact with MOFA to give us a highlight of these impending summits that are currently taking place. And I'm afraid, and colleagues will attest to me, with me, they have not been forthcoming. We substantively met Foreign Affairs on this issue. We started our meetings about a month or so ago. So really, there is a problem there. And in fact, a rejoinder to that is the unwillingness of this department to avail the critical information that we've requested from them time and time again, and that is quantifying their activities. They've not been forthcoming. They're claiming that some of the activities are intangible. They cannot be quantified. We had an exchange in the last meeting with the permanent secretary and the minister. And again, whereas, yes, we recognize that some of these, say, investments and trade volumes are cross-cutting. Possibly the Ministry of Trade can also help us. But this data or information coming from the ministry has been problematic. And we've been trying to engage them since last year. We've interacted with the mission in New York and other missions in regards to these issues. From member states in regards to NAM and G77, that information we are not privy to, and I highly suspect that possibly the President's office could be, because we know that there were cars that were donated by the government of India and so forth.
Chair,
and we don't have that information.
I think
and the G77 plus China for 1 year. So we are looking, let us not just stop and looking at this summit that's going on right now. But there are going to be activities going on for the next 3 years. And Foreign Affairs is a coordination, supposed to play a coordination role. So we shall need money in our missions, for example, in Addis, in Nairobi, in New York, to ensure that all these programs and activities run throughout the 3 years. So missions and the Foreign Affairs, as a coordinating entity, we need to be facilitated to be able to carry out these activities. You're aware, colleagues, those who have been on this budget committee, that this Committee on Foreign Affairs has been having a budget on NAM and G77. And when the President chose to take this mandate to another ministry, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Missions were left with no budget. So we are saying we need a budget to be able to have these activities run throughout the 3 years. Thank you. Because members need to know what specific activities. We're talking about Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the missions. And when we talk about NAM, G7 plus China, it's about foreign relations with the rest of the world. We're talking about memorandum of organization, bilateral engagements. We're talking about joint permanent commission. We're talking about business engagements. So these require the foreign relations sector, where foreign affairs falls and its mission, to be able to coordinate these other activities at the end of the day.
Transparency and accountability is still a key issue here, as Uganda is looking towards reforming its foreign policy, being the chairman of NAM. Now, if this could be, this causes a fear that could we be heading back to 2007?
Now, it is quite,
Because I was thinking, what lessons, what mistakes did we learn from the 2007 that we have this time around 3 chances, CISPOC, NAM, G77. We have all these chances to redefine what happened since we last held a major conference in the country.
Yeah, we do have the chance, and I think we still have the chance because NAM is still going on.
Yeah.
And the chance starts from Parliament itself. If the ministry in charge could avail information, critical information, accountability. Why do they put people in the ministry who cannot? All the ministries have accountants. They have
accounting officers.
They have accounting officers. They have auditors. Can't they give information? Can they account, like, for this activity we need this amount of money? You may not be given the exactly amount, an estimation. You could ask for 500 million shillings, and then you're given 400, which is okay. But we need information. Quantify the activities. You cannot just give an ambiguous number, like we need 4 billion for this, but you've not broken down the 4 billion, what it's going to do.
What's going to do?
That is what we want to avoid. That is, if we need a free, corrupt nation, if you want to live in a free, corrupt nation, we should start with events like that. Let's not even go in for foreign events. We have events that happen here. We have celebrations.
Yeah.
The NRM day is coming.
Yeah.
On the 26th of January.
Yeah.
Who is going to be in charge of this? Where is the accountability? Because of course money is going to be
dispersed.
Of course money is going to be dispersed. Money is needed to organize. We need accountability. We should be giving out, and this accountability should be what? Should be public.
Oh yes.
It should be publicized so that people know this amount of money has been used. And then ask yourselves, with the budget now we're having, because the budget coming this financial year and the coming 2024, 2025. We need to cut down on our expenses. We need to cut down on expenses, and we should be looking at events like this where we should cut down the expenses. We need money. We need money to work to go into the things that really need money.
That need money
in education, in health, and whatever. We need to remove the money that is going to be wasted and put on useful things for Ugandans. And if we
anyway, let's finish up that point. I mentioned something.
Yes. Now, this budget, they're looking at cutting down. Because all entities are crying out, they have cut. Yes, they are going to cut down the expenses, because now people who have been giving us money are not. We are likely not to receive more money from the funders. Like before, because of the issues we're having. Everyone knows that. How are we going to facilitate this budget without with the little that we have?
The little we have.
And we need, of course, the country has to move on. We need to help. We need to help each other here. And there are people still in government who are still stealing the country, who are not helping the president.
The president at all.
Yes, because if the PSST comes out and tells us we are going to cut down, and then there are people who are fighting the PSST. Why are you cutting down on their expenses? But there's still events where money is not accounted for. We need to look at. We still have ghost workers in a
53 billion.
Exactly.
Given out.
All that money is being wasted, and we need money for the country. What are we going to? Where should we start from? We should start from this. Now that the person comes out and says, Minister of Foreign Affairs has refused to give me information, let's begin from there.
Let's.
IGG.
Okay.
IGG, what are you doing? You as the IGG, you're getting money. Start from there.
Start from there.
The committee has given you information that these people have refused to quantify their activities, but they want money. Start from them. Why are you failing to quantify? What are you hiding?
What are you hiding?
Do your job. Everyone should do their job diligently in this country. That is when we are going to have a free, corrupt nation. And that is when we are going to cut down on the expenses that we need. And there we can facilitate our budget.
Absolutely true. And you know, Hanifa, when you speak about cutting budgets, when these people speak about cutting budgets, because the agencies whose budgets you're cutting need money to operate.
Yes.
They need to pay staff, and they have activities to run, to execute.
Obviously.
Yeah. Sometimes I would think, sometime back I remember we had what we had, structural adjustment, whereby it led to lots of people who lost their jobs, retrenchment. Because instead of cutting budgets, why don't we look at what is driving the high cost in our budget? I'm so surprised that even when it comes to matters of the supplementary budget, it's useless. It's just a way of eating money. 52 trillion, but you find that entirely you're going to spend less than 52 trillion. So where is the balance, probably? So that causes lots of us like inspirations to investigate further into these details. You know, you've spent 44 trillion, you budgeted for 52. The balance is 7 trillion. Where is the 7 trillion heading? So I would really feel like there is a lot to do when it comes to the IGG's role, and you know, and more aspects, and even the Auditor General's report itself. I wish it could go to that. Okay, it is already this time around. We started to have it in details, unlike some time ago, which is quite interesting. But that clearly shows you the lack of transparency, and it's dangerous in such a time where we are holding the summits, and in Parliament there are issues regarding that somebody doesn't want to speak this. It doesn't. It speaks a lot when it comes to the country's credibility and trustworthy.
Exactly.
So
I know it is. I know our president is a lenient president.
he is.
He has put some units to fight corruption. State House anti-corruption. They have investigated, and shockingly, it is his people in government that he finds in dubious activities, stealing from his country, stealing from the government. And I would implore him to be hard.
To get hard.
To get hard. Perhaps that is when these people, Ugandans, will listen. People are in government stealing. They're stealing from the sick. They're stealing from the poor. They're stealing from children. They're stealing from the vulnerable. They are the ones taking the country behind. And then they come out to talk about their budget. The budget has been cut. The budget has been cut. They're advocating for their entities to be added money. But when the money is given, what has it done? It doesn't do what is expected to be done. Exactly. Right. And the money is taken back to the consolidated fund. Sometimes the money is not used. That is the money you're saying that this amount, like the last year's budget, 3 trillion was not used. We used over, is it 48 something?
Yeah, it was in 40s. It did reach that.
Yeah. And we 3 trillion, yes. It is okay if it goes back. But what this one that has been used, has it done what is expected? We find that we still have poor roads. KCC has allocated money. We still have potholes in the city. The roads are terrible. KCC was allocated money. What has it done? And the cost of constructing roads here is very, very expensive.
Absolutely right. Let's first take a little break. Of course, I'm still with Hanifa. We are breaking down these matters shortly. We shall be returning and heading into the tensions that are happening, the border closure of Rwanda, Burundi, and Tanzania and Kenya. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
What if you could boost your most loved entertainment?
We're up in the ante.
Upgrade your DSTV package and we'll boost you to the next higher package at no extra cost. If you're on Access and step up to Family, you get boosted to Compact.
You know what I mean.
If you're on Family, step up to Compact and we'll boost you to Compact Plus.
That's an absolute ripper.
And if you're on Compact, step up to Compact Plus, you'll get boosted to Premium.
It's gonna be lit.
Step up and we'll boost you even higher at no extra charge with DSTV.
Jovia ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ag'ewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumu ku kye ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Smart 24, driving business.
We'll be back from that. It's 26 minutes to the top of the hour. Definitely heading into the last minutes discussions of the show. I'm with Hanifa here. We are breaking down these matters. And now, of course, amidst the Non-Alignment Movement Summit in Uganda, Kampala, we've experienced regional tensions, that is across different countries. We have one Burundi and Rwanda border closure. We see Kenya and Tanzania. At the same time, we see aspects of where Ethiopia and Kenya are having issues over visa entry perspectives. So, what does that really mean? Which we understand that the NAM conference is positioning Uganda to be the leader of regional integration. And now, with amidst of all these disruptions, trade is also being halted. For example, Rwanda, Burundi issue. Tanzania used to, Uganda trades with Burundi, $65 million annually. And now we see that if you're now transporting cargo of 28 to 30 tons through, if you could use the Rwanda-Burundi border, the fee was $3,300 to $3,500. Now, using Tanzania route, it makes it longer. It's the goods, the same weight, same quantity, but now $5,000 or $4,000 minimum. So that's a lot of money. Though when the media tried to reach out to the ambassador of Uganda to Burundi, he says it's not yet clear. He's not yet sure whether Ugandan traders, Ugandan goods are going to be affected. I don't understand from what sense he speaks that. But I still, in 2021, Museveni had a suggestion of constructing a road through Uganda, Tanzania, heading straight to Burundi to facilitate trade within these countries. And now we see these issues showcasing now. And it's worrying. Kenya, Tanzania, flight bans, same issue.
It is quite absurd as you're trying to build this big thing.
This exactly.
As we are trying to get to the importance of NAM, because there are so many countries in NAM. It is the second biggest
from the United Nations.
And then here at home, things are collapsing. It is you trying to build a home, and then you think of the hotel, and then the home is breaking. And you're like...
It's like how you host visitors in the sitting room, and you inside a bedroom, two brothers are fighting.
You're trying to... I know the president taking on the chairmanship. I'm told it is today that he's going to take up the chairmanship.
He's going to appear today.
Yes, he really has a lot to do. Now, busy. Kenya and Tanzania, you know, the East African, you know, from childhood, we've known the East African community to be the strong. We had three, the strong ones, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. There was no regional tensions. They were there, but they were small.
Yeah, they weren't escalating to
this degree that we are seeing of Tanzania and Kenya deciding to ban
Kenyan flights.
Exactly, passenger.
And this was also
no, Kenya is the one that started banning cargo
planes.
Cargo planes from Dar es Salaam and, you know, taking them to Kenya. And then this one also responded by blocking passengers. You know how many people travel to those countries, those East African countries?
Very many.
And they use and it is quite absurd. And what is not happening? Who is trying to disorganize the East African community right now? Because everywhere it is chaos.
We saw the director of the CIA visiting Ruto yesterday, and the critics say we sense danger.
Yeah, some people say we sense danger now. We're having the NAM, for God's sake. What is DIA doing
in
Kenya? And all presidents are expected to come today. What are you doing in Kenya right now? Why are you disorganizing the president? Because all NAM
nations
are on NAM right now. That is where the focus should be. That is where our focus is. And then you're trying to divert. And then these tensions that, you know, they're happening at a higher speed.
And a country like Kenya is the common factor.
Yeah, of course,
it's
Kenya.
It's a common factor among all this.
Kenya, as a country, has so many businesses of foreign people. It is.
And US kind of Western.
Yes, it has
capitalism.
Yes, a lot of it. Which is not bad, but we were strong, for God's sake. We were strong, and it doesn't make sense now. The East African community does not make sense right now.
And the rate at which it's growing, new member states coming up, vis-a-vis the tensions. I'm trying to understand what is the need of now these other member states coming on board. Now, these are things that I think that Uganda Museveni needs to address during his time of being chairman of NAM.
Yeah, you know, he's a wise man who gives wisdom, but I don't think these people really take it up because he tries to, just like the Kwame Nkrumahs, the Nyereres, those were professors who are giving wisdom to to their people, to the East African community.
Yeah.
Please, those are the people who started this thing, the Nyereres. And they started this thing and it worked out. Yes, we are a region, we are neighbors. We don't need these tensions. We don't need, because the essence is for us to boost our
economies.
The economies.
Domestic economies.
But if we are having these issues, we're having these problems that we are seeing now, where is the economy now? They just want to disorganize our economy, because disorganizing the East African community now, it is definitely going to crumble the economy. We're a landlord country.
Exactly.
We get goods from our neighbors. If Kenya is having issues with Tanzania, and I hear because Uganda removed them from the oil deal,
and now opting to use Tanzania.
Opting to use Tanzania now. These days we are so friends with Tanzania, and Kenya is pissed about it. Kenya is going to tighten. We have this thing that is going on. We are still in court because of it with Kenya. That is something that the president really needs to work on, and he has to take this chance as the NAM chairperson.
As the NAM chairperson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after the NAM, of course, if the NAM goes, let him try as much as he can to bring back the sanity in the East African region. Yeah, it is. Yes, we were. Sudan was not part of the East African the region yet.
Yeah.
But it was working. We're working with it. But now they have. I've read here. They have suspended relations.
With the bloc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the bloc. We no longer want to listen. All that is going to crumble the economy, which is not doing well right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Our economy is not doing well.
Yeah.
And if we have problems like that, there is still a war in Tanzania north. The South Sudan is not so safe.
Yeah.
Yes, we may
it's
not.
It's a heavily conflicted zone.
Exactly.
It's Democratic Republic of Congo.
Exactly. Congo is having issues with what? Burundi?
Actually, Congo is having issues with Rwanda.
With Rwanda. Rwanda is having issues
Congo
with
claims
with
it's
Burundi.
Rwanda in funding the rebels that kill its citizens. ADF M23.
I don't know who doesn't want to Africa to transform. When there is when there is regional integration, there's regional cooperation. Something has to be there that really stops the peace from happening. The whole perspective for this. I think someone must have been jealous of this growing East African community. Why is it so expanding? Because even Ethiopia is joining.
Yeah, Somalia.
Exactly. Somalia joined already.
Somalia joined. It's Ethiopia.
It is Ethiopia that wants to join. But why is this thing so expanding? It wants to take over Africa. So someone must have been jealous. Must be there jealous that we don't want these countries to unite to join forces. They might join and then become the United East Africa, whatever.
United States of East Africa.
United States of East Africa of all sorts, and then it becomes too strong.
Yeah.
Our leaders, I'm calling upon our leaders, our East African leaders, because of course in the geography, Ethiopia, all that is East Africa.
It's in East Africa. It's in the Eastern region.
Yes, in the Eastern region. I'm calling upon those people to sit down and solve these matters. We solve these issues when we are Africans, for God's sake. No one is going to come out and we are still begging. We need to stop those things of begging from other countries, because that begging is the one that has exposed us, exposed our vulnerability. People dictate terms to us, and we are still being told to do this and this, being given
conflicts,
exactly
civil wars.
Still have those civil wars. If Democratic Republic of Congo is too big, break it down. Decide to break it down into two parts.
Exactly.
So that the other part gets time to monitor this. This country is too big for God's sake. Like, I cannot monitor this and monitor that and monitor. Do something. We are tired of these wars. These wars, we are not there. Yes, we had tribal wars, but they were not reaching this extent that way. These ones have persisted and persisted, and we need to sort them out. We need to find a solution to these problems that we're having as East Africa. The East African region. And we can so that we can stand on our own, so that we do not start, we stop this begging. We can beg each other, and then we borrow from each other at a reasonable interest rate. Not being, we are begging, we are beggars. People dictate terms to us because of that, and we have failed to solve those issues. Those things are not there in other big organizations. What made them organize themselves to become big? China is a very big country.
Yeah.
It is what lessons do we learn from China?
From China.
To become now the superpower it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is competing with USA. China was not like that.
Actually, China has built its empire less than 55 years. It's one of the fastest empires to be. America took over 200 years. Britain took over 400,000. Netherlands. China the fastest. And surprisingly, when you do behind such, you'd never see anywhere where China is getting help from either or the World Bank. Yet it was part of what we went through. China went through.
It is now the one lending.
It's now the one lending
money to us.
Exactly.
What can't we do? What can't we do? We have the best soils here. We have fertile. Uganda has our soils here are fertile. What do we need to do to add in that? What does Ethiopia have? What does Kenya have? So that we sit down and then these things of pulling and then fighting. They don't take us anywhere as Africans.
Actually,
they just take us back.
Take us back. It's the same issue, what was happening in Europe in those early days where of course, those internal disputes, which later rose to the major wars, World War I and World War II. But later, they realized that economies crumbled, banks, the entire system was down. During that time they're fighting, America is making money, is building an empire.
You see?
Not until they realized that, this is not taking us anywhere. The United Nations, all those bodies are formed. Peace. And economies have prospered since World War. But when they got to realize this, that wars are not going to take us anywhere, fighting is going to take us anywhere. But the advantage which they also had, they were the superiors. No one was controlling them. You don't see an account where Britain was colonized by any country. Or maybe the few countries that were colonized in Europe, Belgium, colonized by, I think, France, and those other small countries. But for Africa, and in particular East Africa, I feel like despite the fact that we have all these groupings, regional groupings, you could find that even the idea of most of these integrations is Western based, as one of the ways to foster exploitation.
Exactly.
That none of these organizations is our original mindset. So that you can find that even the framework that runs the East African community, 95% is inspired by the foreign doctrines, not the East African, because some of these frameworks are in line with the person that the founder, that's why majority don't answer to we. They are not tailored to what an African, the way we think, the way we move. They are more of Western oriented, which doesn't work in Africa. Why am I saying this?
What is going to work in Africa then?
I was saying when the CEO of Jumia was speaking something, when they were talking about the collapse, and he was speaking about if you do a copy and paste from the European markets and you apply it in Africa, you fail.
I don't think
it's a different whole market altogether. Andrew, people.
Andrew, I don't think a copy and paste is that bad, as long as it brings out the importance of it all.
The importance.
It brings out the cause. It brings out the social, economic, political aspect. I don't think that is bad. Of course, other people copy from. You go and study what these people did to develop themselves. They did this and this and that, which is okay. But ours is just spoken. It is on paper. It is not in action. We do this, and then the non-tariff barriers. We still have those. We say this, and then we
do this. We say this. We do it.
We say Uganda. We are still making people pay visas. That is quite sad. Why do we make Africa? Okay, we don't make these East African countries. Yes, which are small, but the rest of Africa would want to come in Uganda, and they have to pay. They have to pay a visa. Why don't you remove those things as Africans? Why do we need that? All this gnomlulu batch, like we are all Africans. We need to work together. We need to sit down and remove such things that are impeding the cooperation. They are all the things that are exploiting us as Africans. We did that in Europe. If you don't need to pay a visa to go to any European country, you don't need that.
The same applies to actually if you're in Europe, any country the visa free. If you're from Europe, you're heading to Britain, the same. You're heading to America, the same. It's visa free.
The British can travel to the US, but as you're getting a US
visa is very hard.
It's very complicated.
It's like as though the system is meant to make you not get the visa.
Exactly.
That's why I was thinking if we have the East African bloc operating, and we have the currency, East African currency, that means we can have a higher power when it comes to diplomatic negotiations about Africans, people in East Africa, to travel to America. And you can get a visa because you have a currency. That means the East African currency can also work there.
Yeah, it does. And
because now if they say...
I would implore these presidents, because they are coming today, please, you as Africans, you can sit somewhere as the East Africans. You have gotten this opportunity to meet as presidents, as leaders. Do these things, don't just say these things and the things stop here in Uganda. Do these things with action. What is stopping whatever? Talk about these things, solve them as Africans. Like, we need to solve this and this and this. We need to remove this. The intrigue in Africa, the East African community is too much. They talk about this, like they talk about this, and then after they do this, and then you're like, what is? It doesn't even make sense now. Yeah, we have our Ugandans here who travel everywhere. Our Baganda, especially the Baganda, for Baganda, we move everywhere. We find Baganda in Kenya, in Nairobi, doing business. And then, yes, that is okay. That is very good. We want Kenyans as well to come, make it easy for them. Make it easy for Ugandans to go to Tanzania and do business. That is what we want. That is the only way that this whole community...
Actually, mobility.
Exactly. Makes sense.
Mobility of people from one country to another, goods from cargo from one country to another, is what fosters development. Exactly. By the way, individuals don't care about the diplomatic negotiations you make behind closed doors. If I can move from here to Tanzania, no one is going to ask me for a work permit. I'm already feeling the impact of your meeting.
I go to Tanzania and ask for a job in any company, and I'm given.
I'll know that now the meeting is working.
No, man, East African. Yes, I have that. Yes, I pride in the East African community.
Exactly.
If I'm stopped that you're Ugandan, you cannot get a job here. There's xenophobia in South Africa. It is quite absurd. Africa, we need to do something. This is the opportunity now. We have the time. We have it now. We have it in Uganda. Let's talk about this and let there be action.
Action.
After.
Maybe lastly, criticisms of the NAM regarding the numerical composition. We have the numbers, but we don't have a strategic vision. Now, if the big body, which regions like East Africa region fall under, is criticized for lack of a strategic vision.
There is no vision.
Then it puts me to a point is that we all have responsibility as individual nations to develop our countries.
Yeah, we do have that. But we cannot do it as alone.
Of course, we can't do it alone.
Yes.
But if, for example, when you take a look at India, it's part of the NAM, it's part of the BRICS, and it's part of the G20. There is no way it's going to commit itself to the NAM. Of course, discussions will be made, but when it goes back to the G20, they will again, it's literally they are told, okay, agree on this, don't agree on this. Otherwise, if you take a look at the G7, and you look at the GDP, it's balancing. The curve is flat.
Yes.
Unlike now, which is like this. And Uganda, we are down there, and we have been there for years, being loyal members of this. So the numerical numbers are there. So I think as much as we look up to NAM, the advantages are there, but I would feel like we should be responsible for our own growth and development.
Yeah, we can
see now. I saw something. Angola is interested in our oil and coffee. So if Kenya, you're blocking me, let me go to Angola. And maximize that market, get money invest back in my country, improve the quality, then look for other markets which were despising my output. That's what Museveni always attributes commercial agriculture.
And I don't know why this Kenya is so pissed about this whole oil deal. It is you're our neighbors, for God's sake. Shouldn't be pissed and should be happy for us.
I think it's because Hanifa, since 2003, I noticed most of Uganda's oil, fuel has been pioneered by petroleum, by oil marketing companies in Kenya as middlemen.
Yes.
So they have been making a lot of money. That's why if you compare East Africa, we've been, I think, having the most high rates because of these middlemen in Kenya.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you're putting them out of business, they're going to rebel.
But you've been milking this cow without giving it what to eat. If this cow decides to eat somewhere else, like I'm proud of you milking me. You don't have to be pissed. You be happy at this cow that now the cow has grown the horns and it is now ready to feed itself. Like it has freed itself from me
from slavery.
Yeah, people should be happy for Uganda, for God's sake.
Interesting. And that brings us to the end of the show today. 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Thanks for being part of us all the way from where we started. I've been with Hanifa. He's a reporter at Parliament. She's always on ground. She's been breaking for us down the matters, what is happening in Parliament, alongside the tensions that are happening in the region, and that is the Non-Alignment Movement Conference. Have yourselves a wonderful